This morning we have the word of God in Genesis chapter 6 from verse 8. From verse 8 to verse 27. We will see, my brothers and sisters, we will see a Christian in a corrupt world. A Christian in a corrupt world. We are living in a corrupt world. The same as in the times of Noah. This world is corrupt. And what does that really mean? To be corrupt means that something that has gone bad, something that was good, then it went bad. The thing is corrupt. Hallelujah.
Amen.
We are living in a corrupt world. And you can see the behavior of men, the action of people, the decisions that people make is very, sometimes you ask yourself, what is leading them? People are doing things that they don't even know why they are doing it. They are doing things and they cannot even stop from doing it. They are in bondage. People in this world, we are living in a world that has people in chains. And sometimes some people do certain things just because they have seen others do them too. They don't really know what to do. Sometimes you see someone, you say, oh, he goes to church, he's a Christian. But then you look at his behavior, you're surprised. And you ask yourself then, what is going on in the world? You know, one thing that the Lord wants to tell us this morning is that there is hope. There is hope. There is hope. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Although you see all of this, there is hope. This is not new. What is happening in the world, what is happening in families sometimes, is not new. You see some behaviors that are very questionable. It's not new. Trust has disappeared. It's difficult to see people now who trust each other really. Trust is gone. And some people have had to trust others, have come into being disappointed. Sometimes you look at something, you hope that something good will come out of it. You put all your heart, your energy into it, but then you're surprised. Sometimes you make plans. You know that, oh, with all this plans, this person will do this, that other person will do that, but only to realize that you were the only one serious in that. Everybody else was just playing games. We are living in a corrupt world. But there is hope. We are living in a similar world that Noah was living in. Very similar. It's not because the world is corrupt that there is no God. It's not because the world is the way it is that God doesn't work anymore. It's not because the world is following their action that you cannot cry out to God. It's not because the world is the way it's doing that God doesn't help anymore. God does help. Amen. It's not because the world is the way it is that God doesn't see. God sees. He sees all the actions of men. He sees all the behavior of men. And the mistake is that if you get yourself to follow what other people are doing because you think that everybody else is doing the wrong thing, you are wrong. There are people who do the right thing. Hallelujah. Amen. If you think that because you only see bad examples around you, then everybody is doing the wrong thing, no, you are wrong. There are people like in the times of Noah. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Let's read from verse 8. Yes.
But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord.
The Lord wants to tell you this morning that even in a corrupt world, someone can find grace before God. Even in a corrupt world, someone can find grace. Even in a corrupt world, my brother and sister, you can pray and God will answer you. Even in a corrupt world, you can be a true child of God. Amen. Even in a corrupt world, you can see God's action in your life. Even in a corrupt world. Even in a corrupt world, you can find grace. I know today will be that you look at that person, oh, look at what he's doing. I'm even better than him. No. It's not a matter of being better than anybody, anyone else. It's not that. The Lord wants you to know this morning. You can find grace before God. You can find grace. And God will be with you. Amen. He will be with you. You will see His presence in your life. Amen. And whenever you cry out to Him, He will be there. In the corrupt world, He can be there. Amen. Noah found grace. He didn't find grace before God doing what other people were doing. He found grace by doing the right thing. He found grace. Noah found grace. And we will see this morning one of the behaviors of Noah. One of the things that Noah did. The word of God this morning is not going to give us the history of all the life of Noah from the day he was born. But it will tell us one thing he did. And from that action, you will see that even today, you can find grace. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. You know, no, you can find grace. And God can help you. You can feel His action in your life. But know that God sees you. He knows you. He watches you. He knows everything you do. Know that there is nothing that you do that is hidden. You can hide from men. You cannot hide from God. You can appear before men to show that everything is good, but God will know what is really there. And to find grace before God, you have to be true with Him. Noah found grace before God. Yes.
These are the generations of Noah.
Yes.
Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations.
He was a just man and perfect in his generation. Sometimes when we read this, we think that Noah was just there and everything will only come and perfectly in his life. No. Noah was just like you and me living in this world. There were situations that he could do like other people. There were circumstances that he could follow the world. He could have done injustice. When the Bible says that he was just, means that he could have been unjust. He was just and perfect. He was a just man and perfect in his generation. The Bible draws this because they see that was one of the characteristics of his life. He was just man and he was perfect in his generation. And there were many opportunities around him to do like other people, but he knew that God is alive. He knew that God is true. He knew that in this world he had to obey God and do exactly what God wants him to do. He was a just man and perfect in his generation. Yes.
And Noah walked with
God.
God.
Says that he walked with God. He walked with God. Yes.
And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
He had a family too. You would think that he was a superman. He was not a superman. He had a wife. He had children. He had issues to deal with. He had things to solve in his house, in his family. But the Bible says he was just and perfect. Hallelujah. Amen. He had a family with kids. You cannot tell me that someone with family with kids will not have to deal with certain situations. He has to. But he was a just man and perfect. In all his dealings, even in his family, he tried to stand as a just man. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. He was not looking at the other people's family. He looked at him and said, this is my life with God. This is the way I need to portray myself. This is the way I need to behave. And the Bible called him just and perfect in his generation. He walked with God. Yes. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. The Bible says that the earth was corrupt and filled with violence. Maybe when you hear this, you think that people are going around punching other people. It's not necessarily that. It's not necessarily that people are going around punching each other. Sometimes, even people can have a violent look. Somebody just look at you. And the way he looks at you is so violent, you can't even come close to him. Sometimes someone can just say certain things, just speak certain words. And the way he speaks it is so violent. He doesn't speak loud, no, but it's filled with violence. The Bible says that the world was filled with violence. When you say filled, it means it was in there. Almost in every location, every family, every house, every neighborhood. The earth was filled with violence. Sometimes silence is also violent. You ask a question to someone, he doesn't speak to you for hours, for days. That's violence. That's violence. You ask him, how are you? Is everything good? Are you want to eat? That's violence. You know, sometimes we think that violence means to take take a stick and start, scratching the whole place. That's not it only. That's one aspect of violence, but there are many ways that people are violent. There are many ways. Are you violent? Do you have violence in your life? In those days, the world was filled with violence. Do you have violence in you? Hallelujah.
Amen.
Understand this morning. You can be like Noah. You can be like Noah. That's how a Christian is in a corrupt world. A Christian can live in this corrupt world and be agreeable to God. A Christian can live in this world of injustice, and God is his refuge. God is his strength. He can live in this corrupt world. Hallelujah.
Amen.
The earth was filled with violence. Yes.
And God looked upon the earth,
Yes.
and behold, it was corrupt.
Was corrupt, yes.
For all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth.
All flesh has corrupted his way upon the earth. People were not straight anymore. Something is black, they say it's blue. It's white, they say it's gray. You know that people who answer, people who have many answers. It means that for the same questions, 5 people ask them the same question, they will give 5 different answers, and sometimes they are contradictory. He comes and tells you the answer here, he goes here and gives another person the answer. To 5 different people, you have 5 different answers that are even contradicting themselves. God looked upon the earth, and all flesh has corrupted his way. Don't be like that. Even if the whole world is doing it. Even if all flesh is doing it. Even if all around you, you only see those things. I will tell you why. Because if you do not do the right thing before God, you will not see his help.
Amen.
You will not. Wonder why sometimes you can find yourself in the same position as someone who doesn't even care about the word of God. It's not a matter of being a little bit with God and a little bit with the world. No, it's being with God or with the world. You cannot you cannot be a 50% Christian. There's no such thing. There's no partial Christianity. There's no partial Christianity. If you are partially a Christian, then you are not a Christian. The world, all flesh has corrupted its way. And God says, yes.
And God says unto Noah,
Yes.
the end of all flesh is come before me.
Yes.
For the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth.
I will tell you that corruption has its consequences. God doesn't like corruption. He doesn't like violence. He doesn't like iniquity. It has its consequences. And people are receiving them all the time. They don't even realize that it comes from their way of living. God said to Noah, I will destroy them with the earth. God said he will destroy. He will destroy. Hallelujah.
Amen.
God didn't create us to destroy us. He created us to love us and to help us.
Amen.
He created us to guide us in this world. But we must be willing to follow him. We must be willing to do his will. We must be willing to abide with his word. Yes.
Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shall thou make in the ark.
This is the instruction that God will give to Noah. He said, I will not I will destroy them, but not you. Because even as you are in a corrupt world, God can protect you. Even as you are in a corrupt world, 10,000 can die on your left, 1,000 on your right, you will be protected. Even as you are living in a corrupt world, you will be covered. There is the blood of Jesus that covers children of God. Even though you are living in a corrupt world, but you cannot be like the world. If you are like the world, you don't have that grace. You don't have found grace before God. Now God will tell him, I will make an ark of gopher wood. This is one thing I wanted to understand about God. God is clear in his instructions. Always God is clear. You cannot say, I want to follow God, but I don't know, but his word is not clear. No, his word is clear. If you don't understand, you ask someone who will explain it to you. But then you have to follow. Amen. Because sometimes even after the explanation, people don't follow. God is clear. He asked Noah to use the gopher wood. And God knows why. When God gives his instruction, they are clear because he knows exactly why. But if you do not follow God's instruction the way they have to be, you will not find grace as Noah found grace before God. Noah followed exactly the way what God asked him to do. This is how you do in this corrupt world. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
This is how a Christian must do in this corrupt world to find grace. Do exactly what God wants him to do. Amen. If you want to find grace in this corrupt world, do exactly what God wants you to do. Don't do something close to it. Don't do something that looks like it. Don't try to prolong what God has not prolonged. Just stay with what he has said and do exactly what he has asked you to do. When God will speak to Noah and say, use the gopher wood, if Noah was to use a different kind of wood, will he be saved? No. I want us to understand this, my brothers and sisters. I mean, the word of God is clear. They will say, oh, Noah, but he did something. He built the ark. Yes, but yeah, you build the ark, but your ark is not with the gopher wood. Because God said the gopher wood is a resistant wood. All the instructions of God, they have a reason. There is a reason why God will say, don't do this, don't do that. There is a reason. You cannot just for the ark. Let me build the ark. No, my brother and sister. A Christian in a corrupt world has to do exactly what God wants him to do.
Amen.
If you want to find grace, if you want to find grace, you say, I pray a lot and I do this a lot, but I don't see it. Yes, let me tell you, you don't do exactly what God asks you to do. You do close to what He asks you to do, but not exactly that. You add your own wisdom into everything He asks you to do. You can finish building an ark that will be useless. He asked for a gopher wood. I'm telling you the truth this morning. A Christian in a corrupt world, that's the way to do. If you want to survive, if you want God to help you, don't be the kind of Christian that is only drawing close to you. God says, do one, you do half. And you say, at least I've done it. No. You'll be surprised with things that may happen to you. And you will not see God's grace. You say, why? Other people are talking about grace. I don't see that grace. The word of God tells you this morning what to do. Exactly the way God asks you to do. Do it. Even if the gopher wood is difficult to find, that's what God wants. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Even if the gopher wood is difficult to find, that's what God wants. Even if you have to travel in the forest, you will cross so many types of woods that are close to your house. There are still woods that are just in your backyard. It would have been easy to just cut them and do the ark. No, but then it will not be what God wants. The gopher wood, maybe you need to travel to go and get it. But that's what God wants. You want to be a Christian who sees God in your life in this corrupt world? That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. No other way. There is no other way. If somebody tells that there's another way, no, there is no other way. There is nothing like God will understand that it was difficult to get it. No, there's no such thing like that. Because He knows where you will find it. Amen. He knows where the gopher wood is. He is God. And if you are unable, you say, God, help me find the gopher wood. He will lead you. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. He is ready to help you in everything. Amen. Praise the Lord. God, all what He wants us to do is to obey. Amen. Do you know that sometimes you are so tired, you cannot even get up? You are so tired in the middle of the night, maybe at some point in the night, maybe at 2 a.m. You say, I wanted to pray, but you were so tired. But you wanted to pray because you know I had to pray. You say I had to pray. You won't put everything for prayer, but you were so tired. You will see maybe at 2, 3 a.m. the sleep will just go. You wake up like this and fresh, ready to pray. God will give you everything. You will kneel down and you will go and pray.
Amen.
He knows, even if it's difficult. But if you look at the time and say, I don't think so. Then he will say, okay. But if you say, God, this is what I have to do, he will change things around for you. He will move schedules for you. Something that was not even supposed to happen, it will happen for you. It will make a way for you. If you say, Lord, my legs, I cannot walk a lot. The Gulf Wood is far. But Lord, I am going on that road. Your legs will be strengthened.
Amen.
And you find yourself going back and forth even for 5 times. And then you will say, I can do all things through Christ strength.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
You will say, I can do all things through Christ strength me.
Amen.
But you have to be willing to do it. And if it's hard, he will help you.
Amen.
Don't say it's not possible. Don't say it's not feasible. Then you are mocking really God. You are telling God there's no one is doing. You are thinking that you are smart. You are wiser than him. And you know what? When God sees that that's what you're trying to do, even things that you thought was easy, they're not going to be easy. Even things that you thought, I will just get them like quick, so they will become hard. So that you know that you need him.
Amen.
Make an ark of gopher wood, yes.
Rooms shall thou make in the ark,
Yes.
and shall pitch it within and without with pitch.
God gives clear instruction to Noah. Pitch it within and without pitch. Yes.
And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of.
This is the fashion that you shall make it of. Yes.
The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits.
300 cubits, yes.
The breadth of it 50 cubits.
By 50.
And the height of it 30 cubits.
By 30. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Let me tell you something. If you have done any handiwork, you will realize that whenever you have to make a dimension, it's not something you will go and buy something with exact that dimension. Sometimes if you have a steel that you need to make maybe 11 feet, you may realize that it's only sold in 10 or in 14. So you either have to buy a 10 and weld the other one, or you buy the 14 and cut off the other 3. There is some work to be done. It's not that when you go, you will see exactly. Maybe you go in the bush, you need a wood, and inside you will see exactly like that. There is work involved to make it that size. And sometimes, when there is work involved, the temptation is usually to say, you know what, 300 cubit. You know, what I can get easily is 301. If I was to make it, leave it 301, what is the big deal? If I was to make it 55 instead of 50, what is the big deal? Yes, for men, it may not be anything, and actually it's even wrong. for men it's a big deal also. You see what I'm to say with men is not. It's maybe for your internal project in your house. It may not be a big deal, but for commercial project, or it's a big deal. When they say this window has to be a certain size, it has to be like that. If it's not, do you see how everything is aligned? Somebody had to make it the same size. It was not just anyhow. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
With God, it matters. It's not that you will say, oh, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. God spoke to Noah and said, 300 by 50 by 30. When you know what God has asked you to do it that way.
Amen.
Don't try to do anything close to it and say it's the same thing. You will not find grace before Him. When God says put one window, don't put two because you need more air. No, do it exactly. That's how a Christian survives in this corrupt world.
Amen.
That's what the Lord wanted us to hear this morning. That's the way. That's how a Christian survives, my brothers and sisters. Without that, you cannot. Let me tell you what will happen without that. Without that, somebody who didn't even build an ark, you will build your ark instead of using the gopher wood, maybe use a white wood or any kind of wood that you find around. You will do some work. You will suffer. You will put energy, effort. But when the flood will come, you will not be protected. You will find yourself like the person who never even built an ark. I hope we are understanding this. It's not good to be a Christian and not receive what Christians receive. It's not good to just have a name and not receive any grace. There is abundant grace for children of God.
Amen.
But you have to do exactly God the way God wants it. Many people are building up, but it's not the way God wants it to. How is your ark this morning? How are you building your ark? You are building something. You're saying you're thinking about the flood. You're building something. But how are you building it? Are you building it in a way that it will protect you? Are you building in a way that it will save you? Or are you just doing something close to what God asked? God knows the amount of flood that He will send. He knows the amount of water. He knows the time. He knows the land. He knows everything. He knows the strength of it. Then He gives you instructions accordingly. If you don't do exactly the way He asks you to, you will find yourself saying, God, I know God will answer you. You will find yourself saying, even praying and fasting and doing all kinds of things, and God will not be there. You will find yourself in distress, asking, where is the help? Whereas the help is available. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Let's do it more. The Bible says, let's read on verse 22. Yes.
Dost thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him, so did he.
This is what Noah did. He did exactly how God commanded him. If it's from today, if you're willing to do the way God commanded you, if you're willing to do exactly the way God wants it, even if it's difficult, even if whatever it takes, you will see. You will see the power of God.
Amen.
You will see the help of God. You will see His strength. You will see His manifestation. He will not leave you in distress. No, He will not. Because our God is alive. Jesus is alive. I want to, just before we close, I want to tell you, if you tell a child, don't do this, don't do that, or do something, and the child goes and does the way he wants to, you will not be happy, although you love that child. You will not. God is not asking us to do something that is hard, that is impossible. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Sometimes, maybe you think that there is nothing that God has to offer to you. There are a lot of things. You need God. You need God. If just now God would to say, tell me what you want, I will give it to you. I'm sure we will come up with so many things that we want him to do. There will be a list. Yes, I myself, I want God to do many things. Praise the Lord. But let's understand that He's doing exactly. He's obeying Him exactly. Just like Noah did. That's how Noah survived. That's how he found grace in this corrupt world. He did exactly what God asked him to do. And when the flood will come, he will be protected. People will die, but he will be protected. Because God beforehand gave him instructions and he followed. Let's be like Noah. My brother and sister, let's be like him. And if there are certain things that are difficult to you, that's why we pray. That's how prayer comes into action. That's exactly why there is prayer. When Jesus knew that he had to die, it wasn't easy. But he didn't say, you know what? There is another way. He went to God. God strengthened him. And he went through what God wanted him to do.
Amen.
That's Christian life. That's Christian life. If somebody tells you, this, let me just add this today. If somebody tells you that Christian life is just about miracles, miracle, that's not Christian life there. Because today people are blown away by miracles. No. That's not Christian life. Christian life is obeying God.
Amen.
And you see His work in your life.
Amen.
In your own life. It's not somebody else, it's you. You put your knees on the ground and God answers you.
Amen.
Somebody else can help you, it's true. but you know that he can answer you too. That's Christian life. Hallelujah. That's Christian life. And that's how we should live in this corrupt world. Obeying what God wants us to do exactly. And you do like that, God will do in your life things that he will not do in the life of other people as well. There will be things in your life that people don't understand. They say, how? Yes, because you are a Christian obeying God in a corrupt world. Amen. May God bless us with this word. In Jesus' name, amen.